most critical components of closing a transaction is the financing. And financing can really be a sticking point when it comes to qualification, when it comes to actually getting the escrow and actually closing deals on time or early. Talk about how important it is to have the right lender. Let's talk about the lending part of this for a couple minutes here.
Please. It's just as vital as hiring the right real estate agent.
Yeah.
Working with competent lenders that will help you. Their number one objective is the same as yours, is to cross the finish line.
Right.
And we've been very fortunate to find, the right people to help us to do that. So
I think for the most part, your producing realtor that you have found will tell you, I have a rock star lender. Let me introduce you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're going to say,
Yeah.
right? We have rock star partners. Let us introduce you. It's going to kind of depend on, really what kind of loan you're getting, where you're at. And we also want to get you the right fit. Mm-hmm. So we want to get you the right fit for the right partner, depending on your situation, your circumstances. I would actually say, do that early on. A lot of people are afraid. A lot of buyers are afraid.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to get pre-approved. I don't want somebody to run my credit.
Yeah.
That's all actually not accurate information.
Yep.
Running your credit, there's a soft pull and a hard pull. I know you are very familiar with this, right? It does not affect you. It's not going to affect you. If you see a little something on your credit report, it's going to be gone in like 5 or 7 days, right?
Very short amount of time.
So don't let that stop you because Mike and I, we're going to take you out. Even if you're not pre-approved, we're going to be like, you know what? We totally get it. We're on your timeline. We're going to help you, but we're eventually going to get to that next step. But let's say we go look at a house. You're like, yeah, I think I can afford $1 million. That's my budget. And we find you a house that's $995 and you're in love with it. Absolutely in love with it. It checks off all the boxes. And then number one, we still have to get you pre-approved. So writing an offer, I mean, if we have to wait to write an offer till we get you pre-approved, the house could be gone.
Sure.
And then what if you get pre-approved and you got approved for $900? You're the disappointment just continues, right?
Well, that's why it's so imperative for you to talk to a lender first. Sometimes before we even go out and show them, just to see what they're actually approved for. Let's not burst their bubble and go show them $1.5 million homes and they're technically only approved for $750. Like, that's going to shatter them.
Right.
See if they're even qualified to purchase a home. Help them map it out, like what they're actually available, what they're actually, what they can afford.
Yeah.
What
their
they
buying
are
power
eligible for, what their buying power is, or what they need, what steps they need to take in order to get to where they want to be. We've had those conversations with young couples. They're like, hey, Mike and Jen, we want to buy a home, but we don't think it's possible in San Diego. And we say, it's absolutely possible.
Right.
There are steps. Let's talk to a lender, see where you guys are financially, and then take the steps to get you to where you need to be so that we can get you into your first condo.
And maybe I'll just share something that, for about 2 decades now being in and around finance, one of the things that I have had to tell numerous people over the years is the things that you don't know or fail to admit will ultimately be the deal killers.
Right.
And it really comes down to those two things. The things you don't know that are going on in your financial life or your credit life, or the things you know about but aren't doing nothing about, are ultimately going to be the things that just completely undermine the integrity of a deal closing. Right. And it doesn't matter even what you label the problem. It just usually gets filled into one of those two buckets.
Oh, for sure.
And so it's super critical for people to be honest with it. And it's not unlike going to the doctor. When you tell people, oh, you should go to the doctor. And some people go, oh, I don't want to go. They're going to tell me what's wrong. Yeah. Well,
that's a good point.
Sometimes the lender, you need to go to the lender so they can tell you what's wrong. And then you can work on those things. And then when you do find that place that's $995 and it's in your strike zone for what your budget will fulfill, now you're ready to go and you're off to the races.
Yeah, I think a good percentage of people are afraid to ask those questions or go to the doctor per se or talk to a lender because they're going to, in their minds, they're entertaining a negative thought. Like, it's not going to work. It's just too expensive. I can't do it.
And also remember, for those of you who are hearing this type of message for the first time, just as much as Mike and Jen were talking about having experience in real estate on the buyer side and the seller side and volume of deals and years of transactions, it's very similar with lenders as well. There are people who specialize in certain types of loans and also know other nuances about those programs that the general population just doesn't know because they haven't done them. Or they haven't had a situation where the buyer would need a loan officer to know about that nuance per se.
Yeah.
And so if you are like qualifying for a specific type of loan, it's really important to, I'll say, go down the rabbit hole a little bit on that.
Sure.
So you got the right guy or the right gal who really understands it thoroughly so that you're adequately getting the help you need in your qualification.
Absolutely. It's called doing your due diligence.
Yeah. And there is a lot of misinformation out there. A lot. I mean, we've helped clients before who are like, oh, we're not able to buy because we heard ... about VA loans, and we're like, wait a second.
Yeah. Or the listing says cash only, and then we reach out to the agent, and the agent's like, well.
Yeah, because they like manufactured homes is a really good example. There are agents out there who are listing manufactured homes that actually don't even know what a chattel loan is. And I know we're not really on that subject right now, but basically a chattel loan allows people to get a loan to purchase a manufactured home. But you'll see listings for manufactured homes that say cash only. And so we would call the agent and go, oh, is there something that you can tell us about the property and why is it listed for cash only? Because we have a client who's interested. And they're like, well, it's a manufactured home. You can't get loans on manufactured homes. Yes, you can. And we know, and we have a rock star manufactured home lender. So, VA, that's another one. A lot of misinformation out there about what the VA allows. And, someone might say, well, I already have this, or I can't do this because I already use this, or that's not true. Let's get you to talk to somebody who knows the ins and outs of that type of loan structure. Because by the way, and I just want to encourage, I know there's people who think, well, I don't want to hear what's wrong. But on the other side of that is the endless possibilities of what actually is right and what we can do and what we can work out. And depending on the market, I mean, if we're in a seller's market, Mike and I, we're not only going to recommend that you get pre-approved, we're going to recommend that you get fully underwritten. The difference quickly is pre-approval. Yep, the lenders looked at everything, confirmed that the income and the credit rating and everything you said is accurate, and they're going to estimate what they think you could be approved for based on their expertise, which is great.
Based off the numbers that you gave them.
Based on the numbers, right. Yeah. Now, a fully underwritten, that means it's already gone to the underwriter. So essentially, in a seller's market, we could actually be writing offers that look like cash, because we can waive the loan contingency. I know I'm getting way ahead, but we can actually write a way cleaner offer. So, I mean, we want to get you connected to a lender so that Mike and I can do our best job and represent you well.
Yep.
And we know what we're working with.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes sense. It doesn't,
It's a dynamic duo working with strong agents and strong lenders.
Yeah.
It's a good marriage for sure.
And something for people who are hearing this conversation again for the first time, there are times where the program might allow for things, but the banks will not. Where certain underwriting guidelines at USDA, FHA, or VA might be written into rule on the policy level, but the bank goes, we're a little more conservative than that. So we need to have our line in the sand a little closer to safety than to the extremes of how liberal the rule might have been written.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's something to just take note of, especially when you're using some specialized programs like that, because and I say specialized just because it's different than conventional financing or just doing a cash deal or something like that. Where, the rule might say that, the handbook might say that, but the bank is going to have their own line in the sand where they feel safe and protected and where they still feel like they can offer you that money to take. And the promise of you paying back will actually be fulfilled.
Yeah. And the buyer may even say, well, real estate agent, Mike and Jen, can't you just, like, if I tell you my credit score, like, can you give me an idea? I mean, we can, but we're realtors. We're not lenders.
Yeah.
And
This
there's
is
so many variables. It's your income, it's your type of job, it's how long have you been at that job, what's your
DTI.
credit score, what's your DTI, like debt to income ratio, in case for the viewers who didn't know that. But there's all of these things, and we want to stay in our lane. We want to do what we do really well, and then let the other professionals do what they do really well. And by the way, we've been in transactions before where I've told Mike, I actually want to get a shirt that says, "Do your job," because I know that sounds mean, but we've been in transactions before where we're literally doing everyone else's job for them. Like we've worked with lenders before that was the choice of the buyer. We wish it wasn't so, but we're still gonna get through it, even if it means we have to do their job, and we've had to do that, and that's not fun. That's a lot of work. But
that's why it's so important for us to educate our clients, explain to them the difference between working with a big bank, I won't name the bank, or working with a broker. There's a distinct difference.
Yeah.
If you want to cross the finish line, let's connect you with our guy who is a broker. You're not just a number to him.
yeah,
You have a name, and he will treat you like one of his own. Versus the big banks typically
yeah.
don't do that.
And we're also gonna always be aware of programs out there that we think can benefit our clients.
Sure.
I mean, we had a client one time where we thought they would be able to get approved for a grant that was being offered by a lender that we had known, and we didn't partner with him all the time,
Who
but
actually worked for a credit union.
yeah.
Yeah.
And every once in a while they have these grants. It was a $50,000 grant. We got our client to
50,000.
apply for it. They got the grant,
They were the-
$50,000
They were the first recipients of that $50,000
grant.
from this
I mean,
lender.
so we're going to know about those things, but
Yeah.
we don't know if you're gonna be able to get approved for it. We're just gonna say, hey, this might. We know about this program. Let's see if you can get approved for it.
Yeah.
And they got $50,000 of, like, it's a grant that you don't have to pay that back.
That's super cool.
Super.
Yeah.
Good.
What a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was their first home too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
most people like they hear these kinds of things and they go, "Oh, that's for somebody else," but
Yeah.
it was true for them.
Right.
Like they're the first recipients of this $50,000 grant. It's like, well, that's their story. So we know,
Yeah.
and on to
Yes.
creating the next great story.
I don't know who
Yeah.
said it, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
So they took a shot and they scored, and
Yeah.
it worked out.
And look, they were still going to get the house, but how cool was that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, that's a really nice little chunk of change to add to
Yeah.
your down payment.
And if it's okay with you guys, I just want to impart one last thought about this is that, when you're a buyer and you are pre-approved and it's underwritten and then you submit an offer to a seller, you may not be the only one making an offer. So you
Correct.
have to keep in mind that there's the chance that they may see a second, a third, or even a fourth on and on offer.
Right.
And now you're not just up against the price you put on the offer
Right.
sheet, but your ability to close and the confidence they have in that.
100.
And so I know that's super important, not just from a functional perspective, but also to remember I may not be the only one bidding on this place.
Yeah.
So if
Right.
I'm in the arena against a buyer number 2 and a buyer number 3, how strong am I as a buyer on paper compared to the other people that I'm not going to know anything about?
Right.
So this is an advocacy for being prepared,
Yes.
being buttoned up and done.
Sure.
Because it'd be great if you're not bidding against anybody else. What a wonderful situation.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the seller's hoping
Sure.
that you are so they can get the best price, the best terms, the best closing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then it's on us to then make sure that we're putting our best foot forward and showing how prepared we are and committed
Yeah.
to closing it successfully.
Yeah, and like I alluded to earlier with that Oceanside closing that we were 35 under the highest. Before we wrote the offer, we educate our clients and say, hey, look, it's very important part of this business for us to build rapport with the other agents. Jen is masterful with her words and building rapport, and that really, really, really helps. So if you're one of 4 different offers, that agent's going to be like, hey, I really want to work with you because you seem like a really good agent. So if your client, sometimes it happens, if your client can come up to X dollars, then I think we can make it happen.
Yeah.
So building that rapport with other agents is is invaluable.
Yeah, I just use a lot of GIFs. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I have to imagine that actually helps. These days, with how complex and so serious some things are, I have to imagine that every once in a while, that's got to be awesome to receive.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's really helpful when, we're very communicative with listing agents when we're helping a buyer. And that is, hey, writing up the offer now. Hey, we sent it out for signature. Hey, we just got it back, sending it over. Hey, it should be in your mailbox. I mean, when you do that, you're just telling the listing agent you're responsive, you're communicative, and you know what you're doing.
And you pay attention to details.
And then they get the offer. And by the way, we're so grateful. We seriously have been trained by the best. We get compliments on our offers all the time because we were trained by the best. At the time, we didn't know there was any difference. Right? We just thought, oh, this is how everybody does it. But we've listed a few homes for clients as well, and we get offers in. We've had people send us offers and never even call us and just submit an offer. We've had other agents submit offers, and it's like, you missed all of this. Mm-hmm. You skipped it. Like you.
What?
If this is any indication as to what the rest of the transaction is going to look like.
Wow. Well, go back. Okay, so back to the point about like when you are in the arena with other people, that offer and how that's made really matters because on the listing side, you're like, hey, this one's buttoned up, airtight. This one's got some question marks. Wait, it's got a lot of question marks.
Right.
Maybe this isn't the most stable ground to be standing on.
And as a seller's agent, I'm going to present this to my buyer. I'm like, hey, do you see the difference between this agent and this agent? Yes, this offer is 35 over. But look at how they wrote the offer. It's very sloppy. This needs a lot of work. Look how clean this offer is.
Yeah.
This agent is very competent.
It's a thing.
I've spoken with them. I think we can cross the finish line with them. This one is a little more risky. Yes, it's 35 over, but it's contingent. It's a contingent buy.
Right.
Let's educate your clients.
There's all different scenarios.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I know we really are jumping ahead a little bit, but we're going to continue to, do other topics and stuff because we really want to be able to like do this roadmap. And so you have like a clear, definitive, like, okay, first steps first, second, and so after you find your Rockstar agent and they connect you with their Rockstar lender, it's the fun part.
This is the fun part. Yeah.
We get to go look at homes.
You've been given a map to explore. Now go explore. This is the fun part.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is where we really have a lot of fun getting to know our clients. Yes, we ask a lot of questions. We take a lot of notes. I'm always telling our clients, just so you know, I'm paying attention. I'm actually writing notes because I'm sitting there, typing on my phone and they're like, oh, okay, good. Like that's, they go, oh, okay, great. That's good. And so when we say that we're sending them cherry-picked properties, they really are cherry picks because we have our notes up and we're making sure that anything we send them, because there's 20,000 properties on the market right now in San Diego County, give or take a few, right? And so and you might say, well, gosh, if you're just going to send me a Zillow link, I mean, I can find that myself, right? So we're actually going in and really doing the work and looking at all the things that a buyer may not even know where it's at. Let's say that Realtor.com or Homes.com is their preference on where they're looking for homes. They may not know where to find this information. But we do. We can set up searches, and then we're looking at our list and we're making sure, okay, but you said a non-negotiable was a pool. So we're only going to show you homes that check off all the other things. It has to have a pool.
Yeah, because you never want to do the alternative. You don't want to show them properties when they specifically said that they want a home with a 2-car garage. But you sent them a home with a 1-car garage or no garage.
Yeah, that's...
You picking up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's when we're gonna have fun. We're going to, ask you what you want for coffee. We're gonna have snacks in the car, water, all the fun things. But also we're gonna be asking, like Mike said earlier, we're gonna be asking a ton of questions because we want to make sure we get all of those answers, so that we can show you less homes. So we're gonna ask you, like, what are your non-negotiables? What are your must-haves? What don't you care? What's like, man, that's okay. If it has a pool, great. If it doesn't, we'll just build one.